From her early years, Monika exhibited traits of ambition, perseverance, and a resilient character. Born in 1983 in a small Polish town, she shared a particularly close bond with her father, a retired prison warden who dedicated himself to managing the household and raising his two daughters. Following her father's guidance, Monika decided to pursue education in a military school. There, she acquired skills in handling weapons, combat techniques, and more, harboring aspirations of a military career as it resonated well with her way of life. However, life took an unexpected turn. While still in school, Monika crossed paths with Marcin, a young man with whom she continued to build a connection. Over time, their relationship deepened, despite the disapproval of Monika's parents. Marcin, known in the neighborhood for his transient romantic pursuits, faced resistance from her parents, but Monika's love proved to be steadfast and unyielding. Marriage. Monika and Marcin tied the knot in August 2006, and a year later, they welcomed their son. Initially, their marital life flowed smoothly, but things took a downturn after the arrival of their baby. The woman began subjecting her husband to violent bouts of jealousy, while he coped by turning to alcohol. In reality, Monika had valid reasons for her anger, as Marcin had been unfaithful. Instead of opting for a divorce, she chose a path more suited to her preferences. In 2009, she secured a position as a prison guard. Donning the uniform and wielding a gun, she found herself in her element. The added perk of a substantial income, surpassing that of her husband, brought her a sense of satisfaction. Monika appeared to have reconciled with Marcin's infidelity, and for the following 3 years, they lived as a seemingly ordinary family. However, everything took a drastic turn in June 2012. By mutual agreement, Monika faced denunciation to the prison authorities, alleging that the disciplined and highly conscientious guard had engaged in a prolonged affair with one of the prisoners. She had violated numerous regulations she was duty-bound to uphold, such as supplying prohibited items, facilitating communication, and even sneaking a cell phone into the prisoner's cell. On June 29, 2012, the prison authorities presented Monika with an offer she couldn't decline. She would voluntarily submit her resignation to avoid more severe consequences. Antisik agreed without hesitation. This marked the end of her career in the security services. However, the repercussions were only half the trouble. Upon discovering his wife's infidelity, Marcin's marriage with Monika crumbled. Monika and her child were compelled to relocate and live with her parents. A Warsaw dream. Monika found herself standing at a crossroads. Despite her efforts to secure employment over the next year, her tainted reputation in the small town thwarted any significant opportunities. Relying on her parents' income became burdensome for Monika, a woman driven by ambition, independence, and a desire for financial success. In 2013, she took a bold step, leaving her son in the care of his grandparents, and ventured to the capital in pursuit of happiness. During the fall of that year, her resume for an administrative position caught the attention of 86-year-old Alexander P., the owner of a real estate agency. This solitary millionaire possessed an impressive collection of apartments across the country, all available for rent. Despite his age, Alexander remained actively involved in running his business. The pleasant voice of the young woman he heard on the phone left a positive impression, prompting him to invite her for an interview and consider offering her the role of an assistant. In person, Monika found herself even more drawn to Alexander. The attractive, intelligent, and amiable woman swiftly secured the job, and established a quick rapport with the agency owner. Shortly thereafter, Antisik rented an apartment in Sidiba, an upscale neighborhood in Warsaw, marking an apparent improvement in Monika's life. However, a financial challenge persisted. Despite a good salary, her expenses were growing disproportionately to her income, prompting her to explore part-time work opportunities. To supplement her earnings, she created an account on a specialized website where affluent individuals paid for meetings with women. Yet, Antisik went beyond the conventional arrangement. She discreetly recorded her encounters with clients using a tiny camera, later employing these movies for blackmail, effectively multiplying her fees. During one of these part-time engagements, Monika crossed paths with Darius, a wealthy businessman and father of 3. Unexpectedly, she found herself falling in love with him and began urging him to leave his family for her. Initially agreeing, he showered her with expensive gifts, but eventually decided to end the relationship. Frustrated, the former prison guard, Monika, grew impatient, no longer willing to wait for money to come her way. Greed. Monika harbored a fervent desire to lead a life of luxury akin to Darius's. However, she was unwilling to invest time in seeking out a new affluent partner, only to seduce him without guaranteed results. The impatient Antisik preferred a more decisive approach. Observing her employer, who possessed a substantial fortune and owned multiple luxurious properties, Monika noted Alexander's susceptibility to young women and his limited communication with relatives. Aware that his sole heir was a teenage son born out of wedlock, to whom the entrepreneur had bequeathed everything, Monika set about devising a plan to access her boss's wealth. An accomplice. Ultimately, she concluded that the most effective way to amass wealth at Alexander's expense was to take his life. While Monika could have executed the plan herself, she recognized the need to cover her tracks. To achieve this, she opted to recruit an accomplice. Her choice landed on Grzegorz R., a 19-year-old who happened to be the boyfriend of her best friend's sister, residing in Monika's hometown. Growing up in poverty and recently finishing high school with limited prospects, he seemed to be the ideal candidate in Monika's eyes. Antisik reached out to him and proposed a payment of 150,000 zlotys, equivalent to 25 million rubles, for his assistance in erasing evidence at the crime scene she intended to create. Grzegorz, who had a history of legal troubles, readily agreed without hesitation. Appraisal apartment. On May 5, 2014, the young man arrived in Warsaw to meet Monika. She handed him 500 zlotys along with detailed instructions on how to proceed. Grzegorz, at the age of 19, contacted Alexander, presenting himself as a young, wealthy businessman. He requested Alexander's expertise in evaluating an upscale property located in Sidiba, which, unbeknownst to Alexander, was the apartment that Antisik had rented. Oblivious to the ruse, Alexander agreed. As Alexander and his client entered the apartment, Monika was already waiting inside. When her employer looked around the room where she was hiding, the woman executed what she had meticulously planned. Cleaning. Monika then produced a sizable suitcase she had purchased the day before at the local mall. The collaborators utilized it to discreetly transport the lifeless body to the car, avoiding any suspicions. The duo proceeded to drive towards Plonsk, approximately 70 kilometers from Warsaw. There, in a wooded area near the village of Robowo, they buried the suitcase. Upon returning to Warsaw, Monika and Grzegorz meticulously cleaned the apartment, leaving virtually no traces behind. given Monika's access to all of her employer's real estate. The very next day, she initiated the process of selling valuable items belonging to Alexander. Taking her plan a step further, Monika decided to acquire ownership of Alexander's real estate. Drawing on her experience as an assistant, she had become adept at replicating the millionaire's signature. Consequently, it wasn't challenging for her to forge signatures on documents confirming the sale or donation of apartments. Naturally, this scheme required the involvement of a notary, who had to validate these questionable documents even in the absence of the property owner. The chosen notary happened to be a man who had been one of Monika's clients during her part-time job. Faced with an ultimatum from Monika, he had to either notarize everything or risk the dissolution of his marriage. She won't say anything. Nearly a month went by, during which Alexander went unnoticed. However, Monika felt it wouldn't hurt to take an extra precaution and decided to burn the suitcase. She reached out to Grzegorz for assistance once again. That day, the guy had a date with a 15-year-old girl, Ola. He decided to impress her, so he called her along, having previously assured Antisik that she would not tell anyone anything. In this way, a startled Ola observed Monika and Grzegorz unearth the suitcase and subsequently set it ablaze. It remains unclear why, but Antisik took several photos of the entire sequence of events. Ola struggled to regain her composure long after witnessing the incident. She encountered issues with eating, sleeping, and fell into a state of depression. Eventually, her parents took her to a psychologist. During one of the sessions, the girl disclosed the complete truth, prompting the psychologist to promptly report everything to the police. Summary. Following Ola's disclosure of the location where Monika and Grzegorz burned the suitcase, the investigation gained momentum swiftly. The couple was apprehended, and the police commenced their interrogations. Initially, Monika staunchly denied any involvement and refused to testify, attempting to impress investigators with her impeccable appearance, good manners, and composure. In contrast, Grzegorz chose to cooperate with the investigation, prompting Antisik, upon learning about it, to also start providing information. Predictably, they each placed blame on the other, but evidence was not lacking. A significant piece of it included gruesome photos discovered by the police in Monika's Sadiba apartment. Stored on a flash drive within a folder labeled Old Things, dozens of pictures, including one depicting an open suitcase, raised suspicions. The peculiar nature of this discovery led the judge to question Monika's mental health. After a thorough examination, the forensic psychiatrist affirmed Antisik's sanity, stating only that she was incapable of empathy. In every sweet girl, there is always a demon ready to sink its fangs into the victim, Monika wrote in one of the letters to her lover. Ultimately, on April 22, 2016, the district court in Warsaw sentenced Monika to life imprisonment, while Grzegorz received a 25-year prison term. I hope you liked this story. Please don't forget to leave a comment sharing with your thoughts below. Give a thumbs up this video and remember to hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for more captivating stories. Thank you for joining us on this remarkable journey, and we'll see you in the next video.